Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. Both Dow and S&P were flat, however Nasdaq was up about 0.3%. Some of the companies which have announced numbers have been a little better than expectations, which is why we had seen some kind of an uptick in Nasdaq. European markets too were up anywhere from 0.5% to about 0.75%. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is flat, Hang Seng is up about 0.5% and Shanghai is down about 1%. The inflation data that came out from Japan were muted, so we had some kind of a positive rub-off on the markets, but not a whole lot. In terms of flows, friends, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of about 161 crore. The domestic institutions were biased to the tune of about 600 crore, and in the index futures, we have seen FIs selling about 215 odd crore. We had seen some improvement in our markets in the last couple of days after a continuous sell-off for past 4 days, and the banking stocks were slightly better, particularly the PSU banking space, after the reports that the government is looking at recapitalizing some of the banks, and there is a hope that the rate cut could come through quickly, as we have seen fall in the commodity prices, and as we approach the RBI credit policy, there is going to be enough media noise on the possibility of a rate cut, and which is why we are seeing some kind of a revival in the banking stocks. Overall, I think the markets would remain range bound. There is not a case for a big uptick beyond maybe 100-150 points in Nifty, because the result season has not been that impressive. So overall the markets are going to be range bound. On that note, let me invite our F&O expert to take you through important F&O cues and ideas that we can have from the derivative side.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Yesterday's expiry turned to be a fabulous day for the Indian equity markets, where we have seen a Nifty has given a gain of approximately 0.30% on a month-on-month basis, from 8398 to 8421 odd levels. If we talk about the overall month, however, Nifty started the session on a weaker note, started the series on a weaker note, but Nifty has shown resilience at around 8200 odd levels, and from there it bounced back sharply. Despite the uncertainty in the markets, for Greece and China, but long positions were built up by market participants, including FIs also have created long positions, due to which we have seen a Nifty has given a decent gain of around 0.30%. In this series, we have seen that Nifty started the series with 1.71 crore shares versus 1.33. This month also Nifty has started with good number of shares. It is clearly indicating that long positions have been carried forward to the next series. PCR started at 0.85, PCR has started at lower levels. It is also again a good sign for the market. India VIX was down by 3.46% in yesterday's trade, and it settled at 15.33%. In next week, we have a RBI monetary policy. We expect that India VIX may rise ahead of event, but during the series it may settle at lower levels. On the rollover front, we have seen that Nifty has rollover of approximately 64.92% versus 62. Rollover activity is also good. Market-wide rollover activity was also good. August series rollover is 83.93% versus 80.90%. On sector-wise rollover, we have seen that infra, auto, finance and pharmaceuticals have seen good rollover activity, and textile, media, capital goods, trading, technology, they have seen weak rollover activity in this series. And also some of the stocks which were like gainers in last month, they were like C8, SKS Macro, HPCL, which have given a return of approximately 30% on month-on-month basis, whereas Aditya Birla Novo, Tata Chemical, they have given a return of 26 to 23% respectively. On losers front, like Federal Bank, they have given a negative return of 54%, VEDL, they have given a negative return of 28%, JSW Energy, JP Associates, Tata Steel, they were biggest losers in last series. On the options front, we have seen that 8,500 started with good number of shares in open interest, followed by 8,700 and 8,800. Currently 8,800 is having highest number of shares in open interest, and on the put option side, we have seen that 8,400, 8,300 has seen good build-up, started with good number of shares in open interest. Currently 8,200 put option stands with highest number of shares in open interest. It is started with 36 lakh shares in open interest. Looking at the overall options activity, 8,200 may act as a good support on a closing basis. On bank period front, there is no security in bank period, and FIs were net sellers of approximately 1,100 odd crores in future and option segment. They were net sellers of 212 crore in index futures. They were net sellers of 881.40 crore in DEX options. There were net sellers of 65.27 crore in stock futures and there were net buyers of 10.91 crore in stock options. Our monthly settled break-even point stands at 8125 on the lower side and high range would be 8675. Currently Singapore Nifty is up by 9 points which is at 8482. We may see a marginal flattish to positive start in Nifty futures today. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Friends, let me take you to Sharekhan pre-market action starting with trading ideas. First, a short call on Excite as the operating performance for the first quarter has been below market expectations. The PAT came in at about 155 crore versus 185 crore, which was down about 16.2%. And even the top line was down about 6.3%. And despite fall in the raw material prices led, the overall operating profit has not been able to show any kind of a strength. So that's a negative for Excite, so one can short that one with the stop loss of 146.4 and a target of about 142 or 138. Ashoka Buildcon again came out with a weak set of numbers. The net profit was at 46.5 crore versus 33.8 crore. Total income came in at about 475 versus 547 crore. So one can short Ashoka Buildcon with stop loss of 192 and a target of about 185 to about 183. Arcom, today morning we had this news that the Farallon Blackstone is going to bid for Arcom Tower stake, so one can go long on Arcom with the stop loss of 67, target of about 70 to 72. In other news and developments, BNP Paribas is going to acquire a controlling stake in Sharekhan. Mahindra is going to launch its mini SUV UV300 in September, positive for the company. RBI releases restructuring norms for NBFCs, which is positive for companies like PFC, REC, L&T Finance Holding and PFS. LIC has actually cut the stake in the Maruti by about 2.03% and one can expect a steep fuel price cut as we've seen the fall in the crude oil prices, and the over recovery in petrol is currently at about 4.17 and in the diesel it's at about 4. There is an update on DIPP. About 49% FI through auto route can be allowed in certain sectors like brownfield pharma, retail, tea plantations, titanium, insurance, pension and science journals. So companies which are within these sectors can expect some uptick because of this development. Adani Transmission stock is going to be listed today and it will trade in T-group for first 15 days. Market is expecting a good amount of action because they have good amount of assets of about almost 3 to 5,000 kilometers spread. So one can expect some action in Adani Transmission on the stake. Amazon India ties up with Vakrandi to sell in rural India, and the government to select bankers, legal advisors for stake sale in 6 PSU Oil India, EIL, NTPC, BL, NALCO and Hindcopper on August 5th and 6th. Bank of Baroda results have been better than estimates, but the asset quality deteriorates. Jyoti Lab came out with a moderate set of numbers. PAT came in at about 414 crore. Margins have also expanded. ITC also came out with numbers. The revenue declined by 7%. However, the margins have expanded and the PAT was in line with market expectations. Kotak Mahindra Bank Q1 numbers were not looking too impressive. PAT has fallen by 26%. But that's primarily driven by the merger which they have undertaken with erstwhile ING Vysya Bank. The companies which will be announcing numbers today: ICICI Bank 2846 crore is our expectation, L&T 837 crore, Shriram Transport Finance 328 crore, Titan 220.7 crore, Sun TV standalone 204.3 crore, CSC about 160 crore, Alembic Pharma 146.4 and Raymond Limited a loss of 12.8 crore. List of stocks with positive and negative bias. Stocks with positive bias are Britannia and Hexaware. Stocks with negative bias are TCS and Just Dial. Stocks for investments that we like at this point of time are Hero MotoCorp, Cadila, Axis Bank, Ultratech Cement and Infosys. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.